Alright, Matt and Nicole, you remember getting that little blue postcard with a letter from your union in the mail, right? Great. The reason you guys get that letter with the little blue postcard from your union is your union does the best job that it can with providing you with benefits, but you know as well as I do they can't give you everything you need with the amount of money they have to work with. So that's why they give you a chance to work with us. Now what you're going to get out of today is simple, guys. The first thing you're going to get is that no-cost $4,000 accidental death and dismemberment certificate. You guys get some cool child safe ID kits, a health services discount card, and a document called the Family Information Guide. Now, like the letter mentioned, there's also an additional package of supplemental benefits made available. These are things that the union would have loved to have given you guys but couldn't. So that's why they have us come out instead. Now, if as I'm going through this with you guys, you're saying, wow, these benefits are great. Why didn't I know about this before? Great. Go ahead and take advantage of them. If not, no big deal. Understand, this isn't a big sales thing to get you guys something that you don't need. It's just that so many union families love it so much because it's so much less expensive than you can find from a non-union company. That's why most enroll. Now, guys, if by chance this doesn't mean a need, we actually ask that you don't enroll. It's that quick and simple. You guys are going to know in the next 15 minutes whether or not this will help your family. The only thing the union does ask is that out of fairness to all the other due-paying members that you guys make a decision today, whether it's a simple yes or a simple no. But you guys can do that for me, right? Great. Now the first thing I'm going to do is play you guys a video that gives you a better understanding of our company and the relationship that we strive to hold with all of our union families. Okay? Alright guys, does that video make sense? Awesome. Alright, well the first benefit they have for you guys is that $4,000 accidental death and dismemberment benefit. Now Matt, this is going to cover you for $4,000 for any accident on or off the job. It could be a house fire or explosion, you could fall off the roof cleaning the gutters, you're good. You're covered for the $4,000. Now the dismemberment benefit, all that's saying is if you lose both your hands, both your feet, lose vision in both your eyes, you're also covered for that $4,000. And the partial part, if you lose one hand, one foot, lose vision in one eye, you're covered for half the amount, so that's $2,000. It's not bringing anybody back, guys, but I've never seen a family turn that money down in that kind of scenario. So all I need is your signature at the bottom of here, Matt. That's just establishing Nicole is the beneficiary, and I'll sign right next to you. Awesome. Great. Now, I'm going to take this bottom slip back to the office with me. This top part I'm going to leave here with you guys for your records. Now, the next thing they have for you guys is the child safe ID kits. These work hand in hand with the Amber Alert. We sat down with the United Police Associations to develop these kits. And the way they work, guys, is simple. You're just going to put the child's name on the front of here, the date that you filled it out, and then you're going to open it up. Inside of here, you're going to put all the child's vital statistic information. Anything that's going to change, like their height and weight, put that stuff in pencil so you can update it. Anything that's permanent, eye color, hair color, stuff like that, put in pen. Down at the bottom, there's a spot for mom and dad's information. And then over here, there's a spot for an updatable photograph. Try and update this photo every 6 months to a year so that way you have the most recent photo of the child at hand. Then you're just going to put the date and sign the day that you filled it out. Open it up one more time. There's a little ink strip in here. This is wet on both sides, guys. You're just going to peel each side back, do one hand, then the other. Up here, there's a spot for any distinguishing characteristics the child might have. So if Samantha wears glasses or braces, maybe she's got a birthmark or a scar, that's the kind of information you put up here. And then over here, there's a spot for a DNA sample. Guys, simple pluck of the hair will work just fine. Just make sure you get the hair follicle, tape it in here, and it's all set. Now on the back of here, we recommend that all of our families set up either a safe word or a password, something that the child can recognize, so that way if anything were to happen to either of you and there was an emergency, if somebody were to come to the school that they're not familiar with and say, hey, mom and dad were in an accident, they told me that the password was, let's say your password was blanket. You say the password was blanket, now Samantha knows that it's safe. Now if they didn't know that that password was blanket, Samantha will know it's not safe and she won't go. Now guys, these are awesome tools. When we sat down and developed these with the United Police Association, they asked us to get these out to 100% of the families that we see. Now, realistically, with our time and resources, that's not going to happen. So what they allow you guys to do actually is extend these kits out to the 6 families that you're closest with, that you want to help protect. So who would those families be? Who are the families that you guys are closest with? Okay, great. Next one. Alright, perfect. Great, guys. Awesome. Now the next thing they have for you guys here is that Best Benefits Health Service Discount Card. Guys, this is a really cool tool. It's a great discount card. This saves you money on things like prescriptions, dental, vision, and hearing, up to 60%. You get all that for $6.99 for the entire year. Now there's also a gold package that builds on top of that. That's $24.99 for the entire year. That gives you everything that the basic package has, plus some other things like chiropractic, 24-hour nurse helpline, some travel assistance, and some other things. Best thing I can tell you to do, guys, is call the 1-800 number inside of here. They can tell you way more about it than I can. But the best way I can break this down for you guys is, say you had dental coverage, you go in and get some wisdom teeth pulled. The bill comes and it's $1,200. So your insurance picks up $1,000 of that, and this discounts the other $200 that you would pay out of pocket. So it's a great tool. Families love to save money. Who doesn't like to save money, right? Now the next thing they have for you guys is called the Family Information Guide, guys. This is a great tool. It's not a legal document, so understand that this isn't a legal form. This is just a precursor to your will. So what you're going to do is you open it up. Right up here, you're going to put all your vital statistic information. Now, did either of you serve in the military, or either of you veterans? No? That's not a problem. It's alright, guys. Don't worry about it. Moving on right here, this is going to be the persons to be notified in case anything were to happen to either of you. So if you have friends or family that live upstate, downstate, out of state, people that you don't talk to on a normal basis, those are the people that you're going to want to list in here so they can be contacted if anything were to happen to either of you. Now, the person to be in charge of your final arrangements, this is the person that you would want to put in charge if something were to happen to both of you. God forbid. Now, have you guys had a chance to think about who that would be? Oh, you have. Really? Awesome. Great. So you would write that person's name right in here, and you would make sure that they get a copy of this document so that they have that at their fingertips in case something were to happen. Now, last will and testament, guys. We live in the great state of New York. You guys know why it's important to have a will? Yeah, that's right. You want to make sure everything goes where you want it to go. Now, the other reason, guys, is New York State is also known as what's called a probate state. Basically, what that means is if you don't have a will in place, New York State can come in and snag all your stuff, lock it up in probate court, and then your family has to go through probate court, and it's a big headache. There's lawyer fees. Nobody wants to deal with that. So we just recommend that you list that information in here. Now, if you guys haven't had the chance to set up a will yet, or you haven't really put a lot of thought into it, there's actually a website that you can go to. It's called LegalZoom.com. You can go right here, $69.99 for the entire lifetime of the will. That's updatable, and you can do it from the comfort of your home, sitting on the couch in your boxers on a Saturday morning. Now, we'll get into the important stuff, the most important box on here. This is your estate information, guys. Now, guys, every year, millions and millions of dollars in life insurance goes unclaimed because families, they do the responsible thing. They go out and they take out a life insurance policy. But if they don't tell their family and their loved ones about that policy, does that money really exist? And the sad truth is no. There isn't anybody going around knocking on doors and handing out these checks. So that's why you would want to list that information in here. Another reason is a lot of families that we sit down with, they rely on their work, their union or a group or affiliation that they're involved with to provide them with benefits. And unfortunately, if they retire from that union, leave that group or affiliation, those benefits leave them as well. So that being said, guys, do you have anything privately or through work as far as life insurance goes? Okay, awesome. Definitely make sure you put that in here. And then right here is your financial institution information. Now, guys, do you prefer to bank with a traditional bank or a credit union? Credit union? Perfect. Get those great interest rates. Get some loans through them. They're a great tool. Everybody that I've sat down with, they usually use a credit union or a mix of the two. Now, the reason I mention this, guys, is 3 years in activity in a federal credit union, 5 years in activity in a traditional bank in New York State can once again come in, freeze up all those assets, and then it's a big headache for the family. So we recommend that you fill that out there, make sure that they know where that information is, so that way it doesn't fall through the cracks. Now, funeral service requests, guys, I know it's not a hot topic, it's not something that we think about every day, but when it comes down to that, have either of you decided which route you would like to go, traditional, cremation? Okay, so you have put a little bit of thought into that. Wow, you guys have got it together. So you would want to fill that box out there, and that way, on that day, the family has all of your last wishes right in your handwriting. So there's no second guessing it. There's no arguments. There's no turmoil in the family. So that way, they can make sure everything's taken care of, and they've got it right here in your handwriting. Then when you're done filling this out, guys, you just sign the bottom of it, date it, put it away, and go about living your life and enjoying it, right? Now, the last thing they have us do with all our union families, guys, is we actually have to go through a mandatory read-off letter. This is similar to the letter that you would have gotten with that little blue postcard that came in the mail there. And basically, guys, all this is stating here is that we're a 100% union label company, just like you guys are 100% union. And what it says is that the Nilico supplemental benefits, the benefits package that I'm going to go through with you guys in a minute, is in no competition with any insurance or any other benefits that you might have privately. It's actually meant to fill in the gaps where those programs leave off. Now, also keep in mind too that the benefits package that I'm going to go through with you guys, that is permanent and portable. So whether you stay with the union or leave the union, whether you stay in New York State or leave New York State, these benefits go with you wherever you go. And the last thing that it goes over, guys, is that out of fairness to all the other due-paying members, they just ask that you make a decision today, whether it's a simple yes or a simple no, because we have a lot of union members that want to see these benefits too. So we just ask that you make that decision today, but that's not a problem, right? Awesome. Great, guys. Okay, so now that you have a better understanding of what the union's actually set up for you, the next thing they have me do is walk you guys through what's known as a personalized needs analysis, so that I can tailor fit this program perfectly for your family. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. Some of it might seem a bit redundant from earlier. I just want to make sure that I have everything accurate. So Matt, I've got your birthday, okay. Nicole, I've got your birthday, and then we've got Samantha, right? And I've got her birthday here too. Great. Now, guys, there are 3 criteria that every family has to meet in order to qualify for this program. The first being you have to be a member in good standing of the union. You guys qualify for that with flying colors, otherwise I wouldn't be here, right? Now, the second thing is that it has to be affordable. So everything I'm going to show you guys today is going to be based off that $16 an hour that you make, Matt, and the $12 an hour that you make, Nicole. And the third and final thing, guys, is that these benefits have to take effect immediately, and we have to medically qualify for them. A lot of the members that I sit down with, they love the benefits, but they don't qualify, so they can't enroll. And this is like your open enrollment. So like I said earlier, if you like the benefits, great, go ahead and take advantage. If not, no big deal. So I'm just going to run through some questions with you guys real quick. Just got a few more medical questions just to run through, and then we'll get right into it. Okay? Great. Give me just a second. Alright. Okay, guys, so this is what you've qualified for. You qualified with flying colors. You guys are healthy as butterflies. What you've qualified for is called the Premier Family Care Plan. Now, your contribution to this program, if you choose to enroll, is $38.22 per week. Now, why in the world would anything be $38.22 per week? Well, it's based on what we call the hour power principle. The idea is you both take 1 hour of your work week and pay yourself first. You then take your other 39 hours plus overtime and do with it whatever you want. But now you can sleep at night knowing that all your gaps are filled and everything is protected. So the whole idea was if I were to come to you both this week and say, Matt, Nicole, you guys are the best workers we've got. I'm going to lock you both in at a 41-hour work week. Are you guys going to jump for joy and take that trip to Disney World that you've been planning on, or, you know, put a new extension on the house, do some renovating? Probably not, right? Now, if I were to flip that on you and take an hour away, are you guys going to come home, man, how are we going to make ends meet around here? We're going to have to sell a bunch of stuff, right? Probably not, I hope, right? So the whole idea is 1 hour on either side of our work week doesn't make a whole lot of difference as far as our current lifestyles go. But to protect the whole family, it's the best hour of work we put in every week now, right? Okay. So, does that make sense to you guys? Great. Now, guys, I've got to ask you a question. Have either of you ever been on the financial side of arranging a funeral before? Now, the reason I ask is funerals nowadays typically cost around $14,000. And what a lot of people don't realize is life insurance, it doesn't handle the cost of funerals the way we think it does. The way it used to work, guys, was, say, Matt, you've got a $50,000 life insurance policy. Cool. You would take that $50,000 policy down to the funeral home, you'd hand it to the funeral director, and that would serve as collateral until that check comes in. Well, guys, that was back when insurance companies had to pay on a policy within 24 days. Now they have up to 60 days to even all upwards of a year before they have to pay on that policy. And why do you think they do that? Exactly. Interest. Millions and millions of dollars that they make off the interest. And that's why we see so many families get burdened with out-of-pocket costs when it comes to funeral time. Now, another thing that's going on, I don't know if you guys have noticed this at all, but there's a bunch of companies going around buying up all the funeral homes and cemeteries. One of them is out of Texas called SCI, and the other is out of Canada. They're called the Aldwood Group. Basically, guys, their goal is they want to become the Walmart of the funeral industry. Now, the reason that I mention that is their corporate policy is they want half to the full cost of the funeral up front. Now, I don't know your guys' current financial situation, but most of the families I sit down with, they don't have $7,000 lying around for a funeral. And the ones that they do, you want to use that money because there's so many bills that come in afterwards. Guys, that's why the unions come up with this. This is called the Freedom of Choice Funeral Certificate. The way this works, Nicole, when something happens to Matt, doesn't matter how high, when, or where, could be tomorrow, God forbid, could be 50 years from now. Doesn't matter. Nicole, you take this to any funeral home in the United States, and they're going to accept it. As a matter of fact, they're going to love it because it's backed by big, powerful unions like yours. They know they're going to get paid. So if you want to do the traditional route, like you were saying earlier, flowers, casket, funeral gravesite, the whole works, so let's say that costs $15,000. Nicole, what you're going to do is you go down to the funeral home, turn this over, you negotiate the price of that funeral. You write in the amount right here, $15,000. Fill in his arrangements, sign as a beneficiary. Everything's completely taken care of. There's not one out-of-pocket cost whatsoever. And when you walk out of the funeral home, that funeral director is going to flip this back over and he's going to call this number right here on the front of our corporate office. Now, typically, they only ask us 2 questions. The first thing they're going to ask us is this policy in place? And when I leave here tonight, guys, it can be. It very well could be. The second thing typically they ask us is how much money did you guys have to work with? Now, Nicole, if I told him that you have $37,000 to work with, how much do you think that $15,000 funeral is now magically going to cost? Yeah, $37,000. It shouldn't work that way, and we don't allow it to work that way. Now, what we'll do, guys, is we don't reveal that number, and we ask that you never reveal that number. What we simply do is we'll cut the funeral home a check for that $15,000, and then we'll send the remaining balance back to the family. It's the cleanest, easiest, and most compassionate way to take care of what's going to happen to all of us eventually. Now, like I said, never reveal that number, and we never reveal that number. It is the cleanest, most easiest, and compassionate way to take care of what's going to happen to all of us. And so does that make sense to how that works to you guys? Great. So you see why it's so important to have those funerals taken care of? It's great, right? Alright. Now, guys, having your funerals taken care of is super important, but what is of equal concern is what happens afterwards. Now, guys, what kind of recurring bills do you have here every month? You got mortgage, probably, car insurance, the lights, the kids, they're not free, right? Now, Nicole, if something were to happen to Matt, and he doesn't come through that door on Friday, what does keep hitting that mailbox every day? Yeah, bills, right? Now, if Matt were to pass away, unfortunately, it's pretty safe to say that things would get tight pretty quick, fast, and in a hurry around here, right? Well, guys, that's why the unions added the income protection portion of this. Now, what this does is this is going to pay $1,800 a month for 36 consecutive months if something were to happen to Matt and he was taken away from you unexpectedly. Now, the reason for that, guys, is because life insurance, it doesn't work the way most people think it does. Life insurance is it's like a $100 bill. Now, Nicole, if you were to take a $100 bill down to the store, buy a couple pizzas, some soda, maybe some wings, you broke that $100 bill. Come next Monday, how much of it do you have left? It's gone, right? Maybe some pennies and nickels left. Now, guys, life insurance, liquid cash, it works the same exact way. You know, if Matt passes, up to 60 days later, you're going to get that insurance check. And the first thing you're going to do is probably break into it. Pay back wherever you got that funeral money from, right? Well, guys, I'm not saying you guys are going to squander the money or splurge with it or anything, but typically life insurance isn't lasting families much more than 2 years now. And the reason for that is because we use it, you know. Things got to keep moving forward, you know, life goes on. And that's why they added an income protection portion of this, so that way you can take that life insurance policy and you could set it aside, put it in a savings account or something, and let build that nest egg that it's intended to be. And then after that 3-year transitional period, that 3-year period that you keep getting Matt's paycheck for, that money's sitting there waiting for you. Now, guys, I know we covered the funerals, your funerals already, but This is also going to cover little Samantha for $10,000 if anything were to happen to her. It's every parent's worst nightmare. And the cool thing about this, though, guys, is because you're getting a jump start on it and you're doing this now, at age 21, when she turns of age, she actually has the option to convert that to $50,000 of whole life coverage, and we can't ask one medical question whatsoever. So if she got diagnosed with something like childhood diabetes or asthma or something like that, it doesn't matter. She's guaranteed up to that $50,000 at age 21. It's an awesome, awesome benefit built in, guys. Now, guys, I've got news for you. You're young, you're healthy, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. If you're going anywhere, statistically, we're 9 times more likely to die in some sort of accident. Now, what this next benefit does is this is going to cover you for an additional $140,000 if you guys are killed in any type of accident on or off the job. As crazy as you can think or as stupid as you can think. Your guys are covered for an extra $140,000, and each of the kids are covered for $8,000. Now, guys, we all have to do it. It's the most dangerous thing we do every day, right? We all have to drive. We've got appointments to go to. We got to get to work, run errands. It's dangerous, you know. The roads are crazy. Guys, most insurance companies, they pull back the benefit when it's at higher risk. We actually increase it to $180,000 if you guys are killed in any type of vehicle, or any vehicle, just not a work vehicle. You guys could be the driver, you could be the passenger, you could be in the back seat sleeping, you could be on vacation. The accident could be your fault. It doesn't matter. You're both covered for $180,000, and each of the kids are covered for $16,000. Now, what about a common carrier, guys? Now, this is something like that you would pay a fare to ride on, like a plane, a train, bus, boat, taxi, Uber. Guys, you're both covered for $300,000 now, and each of the kids are covered for $40,000. Now, moving on, we'll get into the hospital supplements, living benefits, guys. Now, this is why most families, especially young families, enroll into the program. The way this works, guys, is if you go to the emergency room for any kind of accident, say you fall and sprain your ankle, cut yourself real deep and you need some stitches. Well, guys, now you're going to get paid every time you go and get that checked out, up to $200, as long as you get checked out within 72 hours. Now, guys, this is for anything that was caused from an accident, any kind of external bodily injury, nothing internal like fever, sickness, pneumonia, stuff like that. But guys, you get paid up to $200 per occurrence. So if you went 6 times a year, or 6 times in a year, that's an extra $1,200, right? That's $1,200 in your pocket. It doesn't go to the doctors, it doesn't go to the hospitals. Check comes to your house in your name. Now, let's say you guys were in some kind of really bad accident and you had to be hospitalized. Let's say somebody ran a stop sign and ran into poor Matt here, and he's in the hospital for 10 nights. If he's in the hospital for 10 nights, where isn't he for those 10 days? Work, right? And the first thing he's doing when he gets out of that hospital is, I gotta get back to work, right? Well, guys, now you're gonna get paid up to $400 for every single night that you're in the hospital for up to 365 days, and that is per occurrence. So if something weird happens, Matt's in there for that 10 days, and then he gets out, and then something really crazy happens, and he goes back in, it starts all over again for up to that 365 days, for up to another complete year. So in this case, we're saying, Matt, you were in there for that 10 days, so that's $4,000 of completely tax-free money. Like I said, doesn't go to the doctors, doesn't go to the hospital. Check comes to your house in your name. Guys, that's financial relief for you, so that way, Matt, you don't have to stress about getting right back to work. It keeps the lights on. It keeps the water flowing. It keeps the gears moving, so it gives you time to rest and recuperate and then get back to work when that time comes. Now, guys, if the accident's even worse, we don't want to ever see any of our families have to use this benefit, but if you are in the intensive care unit, now you're going to get $800 for every single night that you're in the intensive care unit for up to 14 days. Now, guys, they cap it at 14 days because if you're in there for that long, chances are it's pretty bad, but you don't lose it. It just reverts back to this $400 for up to that 365 days, up to that complete year. Now, guys, this bottom portion right here, these hospital supplement benefits, you can get those from other insurance companies. Typically, though, you're looking at $30 to $40 a month for just you, Matt. That's just going to cover you. Now, this, guys, this covers the entire family. You're getting all of this. You're getting all of the hospital supplements, all of the accidental coverage, both of your funerals taken care of, both of your incomes protected for a pizza and wings a week. Now, guys, another thing to keep in mind is this is strike and layoff proof. So, Matt, if you're laid off for 1 week, up to 3 months out of the year, we can waive this bill, this premium, for those 3 months. Now, if you were to be laid off, God forbid, They'll pay your premium for up to a whole year if you're laid off. Now, what company in the world do you know that would do that? It's crazy, right? Now, guys, the next choice you have is pretty much a no-brainer. You guys have option A, which is everything that I just showed you right here, this whole package, or option B. And option B is going to be $30.70 per week, but this is going to only cover you guys for $20,000 on your funerals. So, guys, it's up to you. You can go with option A, which is what most families do, cover your butts for everything today. Or what I recommend is start small. Get your foot in the door. Protect as much as you can today, and then later on down the line, if you want to bump it up, you can bump it up. So guys, which option is better for you? Option A, the whole kit and caboodle, or option B, go with a little bit more of a comfortable starter package. Option A, great. Guys, all I need is your driver's licenses, a voided check, and if you guys are on any prescriptions, I'll need those too, but you guys seem healthy as butterflies, so yeah, if you want to go ahead and get those driver's licenses and voided check, I'll get this set up for you. Awesome. Great. Now, guys, the last benefit that I'm going to go over with you today is what most members consider the most beneficial benefit you're going to get out of this. And what that is, they allow you to extend this program out to the 4 families that you care about most. Now, guys, whenever a union member takes advantage of this program, like I said, they're allowed to extend it out to other families that they care about. But you're only allowed 4. So really think about those 4 people, because they're going to get access to everything I've given you access to today. They get the XDown, 4,000 XDown death benefit. They get the child safety kits. They get the best benefits discount card and that precursor to their will. But most importantly, guys, is I will come out and I will do the personalized, tailor-made needs analysis with them, walk them through it, and tailor fit this program perfectly for their family as well. So, like I said, you only get 4. And think carefully about who those 4 people are. Now, Matt, you were telling me about your brother earlier. He sounds like a great guy. You said he's got a family, a couple little ones, so he could definitely use this, right? All right, so why don't we start out with him now? All right, perfect. Okay, who's the next person you'd like to sponsor? Great, awesome, guys.